Welcome, everybody, to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week, we dust off the Ecto 1, we take the suits out of the closet, and we kick some ghost ass in Ghostbusters Afterlife, hitting store shelves along with the family adventure comedy Clifford the Big Red Dog, the horror remake Slumber Party Massacre, and Paramount Pictures is releasing a 30th anniversary edition of the comedy classic Wayne's World. Party on. Plus much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we are at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. All right, everybody, we are in at Walmart, and look, 3 weeks in a row of new releases. I'm not saying it's permanent. I just like where it's going. Oh, indeed I do, man. Could this be a permanent thing? Are they actually improving? Is 2022 the year for this first Walmart? And I've seen some stranger shit in my life, but it's pretty strange, but I'm liking it. Oh, I truly am, man. Let's hope it continues. But in the meantime, let's see what they got with a little Ghostbusters love. The 4K Blu-ray digital of Ghostbusters Afterlife for $27.96. The Blu-ray DVD digital for $22.96. The DVD digital for $17.96. And for all you movie collection lovers out there, the Blu-ray digital of the 3-movie collection of all 3 Ghostbusters films, yes, minus the 2016 or 17 film. Seriously, did you really think they were going to put that shit in there? For $32.96, and the DVD for $24.96 as well. They have all of the Ghostbusters love here. Who you going to call? Well, you got your choice. You definitely do, man. I got to admit, though, I'm going to be honest. I don't really love this cover of the 4K. I really don't, man. I don't know. It just doesn't really stand out to me. I like this cover on the Blu-ray and the DVD much better than I like the 4K cover. I don't know. I mean, yes, they're all kind of generic anyways, but I like that all the characters are right there. It feels like a good sort of look and pose for the cover, actually. Here, I don't know. It just doesn't really stand out as anything phenomenal to me. I mean, it's glad that they have different artwork, but it doesn't wow me either. Kinda like this movie. Oh, you guys are really gonna hate me, man. Oh, man. I have a feeling I'm gonna get a lot of hate from a lot of you guys out there. But I gotta be real. I gotta be honest with you guys, because you know me, I'm anything but, okay? And look, I was really looking forward to this movie in a big bad way. The trailers got me. It got me in the feels. It really did, man. Here I am, like, oh man, I'm seeing the old school Ecto 1. I'm seeing the suits and the music. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, dude, you got me. You really got me. And I'm like, oh, dude, being an old school fan of Ghostbusters, I'm like, I don't know what to think about this. I really don't, but I gotta go. I gotta check this out. And I think any fan of Ghostbusters in general pretty much had to do it, right? I mean, the trailer got you. Whether you want to admit it or not, it really did. Now look, if you are going into this film looking for pure nostalgia, you're gonna get it, man. I mean, everything from the old school Ghostbusters film is pretty much in here. Lock, stock, and barrel, right? I mean, it truly is. So if you are a fan of Ghostbusters and wanting pure nostalgia itself, you're gonna eat this up. But outside of the nostalgia, there's nothing really new and or original here that's gonna really keep your interest. And that's ultimately the problem with the movie, though. And that's really the issue that I have with it, because yes, I love Ghostbusters, I love all that jazz, but this movie doesn't bring anything new to the table, and when it tries to me, it kind of fails hard, very hard, because the characters, to me, outside the legacy characters, are not really all that memorable. I don't think they're written all that well. I don't think they're developed all that well. I think anytime that they try to do quirky comedy, I feel that it kind of comes off as flat and lifeless. The only time that I really was interested in the movie was when they had the legacy characters there and I actually felt something for the movie. I just felt the movie overall was kind of a dud to me. It was kind of a useless propaganda for nostalgia. And that's the problem, ultimately, is that if I want to watch the original Ghostbusters movie with all those great characters and all those great moments that they're trying to recreate here, I'll watch the original Ghostbusters. Okay, that's what I'll do. But in this version, it just feels like a really kid-friendly Ghostbusters version of the original film. And it's almost like they're thinking that Ghostbusters was always this kid-friendly movie. And if you really think about it, especially back in the day when it came out in 84, I think it was, somewhere around there, it wasn't really ultimately all that kid-friendly. There was a lot of adult humor, there was a lot of adult moments, and ultimately, yes, there was like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and there was some cool stuff for the kids in there, but it wasn't really a full-on kids film. Kids gravitated to it because of the cool designs and the moments, but I don't think they ever made it for an absolute 100% kid-friendly audience. This movie feels like it's manufactured in a factory for the kiddies. And every decision felt like, well, we don't want to go too scary because we don't want to offend the kiddies. We don't want to have the jokes be too over the kids' heads. We want it to be poppy, kiddie moments, and appeal to the overall general kid brand and the nostalgia brand. And that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like a movie that felt pure and genuine to me. It felt like a movie that was made out of a committee because, oh, wouldn't it be cool to make another Ghostbusters film, but we can sort of backdoor the nostalgia in to sort of get the old school fans in, but yet not go too adulty so that the kids are turned off by it. It just felt made by a committee. And that was the problem that I had with it. It's the real problem I did. I mean, I didn't laugh at any of the jokes. I didn't connect with any of the characters outside of the originals. And even the originals kind of felt shoehorned in. They kind of felt like, well, you know, since we're still alive, I mean, might as well make a cameo appearance. I mean, since they're paying us and everything, right? I mean, that's kind of what it felt like. And that's just a goddamn shame. It really honestly is. It just felt like everything was in service of either the little kids or trying to manipulate your emotions for the old school nostalgia stuff. And look, I'm not gonna lie, right? There were moments in the film, especially towards the end of the film, where I got the feels. I was manipulated. I was kind of tearing up a bit. And after I watched the film, I was like, I kind of felt dirty being emotionally manipulated like that. I was like, God damn, dude. Like, they kind of got me. But at the end of the day, I wasn't truly satisfied with it either. I was like, it was cool for the moment, but it didn't really leave an impression on me. It just was there at that particular moment, and then that was it. It really sucked, man. I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that love this movie, and they love it because, oh, hey, Ghostbusters, and the Ecto-1, and all this stuff, and okay, great. But you can see the same damn thing in Ghostbusters. You can see the same damn thing in Ghostbusters 2. What makes this film special outside of seeing some of the original stuff? Because the new stuff doesn't impress. And that's the problem. I love the old school Ghostbusters, I really do, but I want something new. I want something that I can really gravitate to that's newer and something more original and something that can really expand on the mythology and really go forward and make me excited for future installments. There's nothing here that really does that. I mean, the actors are fine, they do their best, but a lot of them are just useless. I mean, they have the kid from Stranger Things here. He does absolutely nothing outside of maybe a little bit of teenage angst and works on the Ecto-1. It's all he does, man. I mean, the mother is a non-starter. Even Paul Rudd, who I love Paul Rudd. Don't get me wrong, Paul Rudd's the shit. He's terrible here because they do nothing with him outside of being a Ghostbusters fanboy. They do nothing with the characters outside of, remind you of old school 80s stuff and to set up a Ghostbusters nostalgia trip. And that's fine if you want it. Got no problems with it. If you want that, go ahead, have at it. But for me, I want something a little bit more original. I want something a little bit more new. I want something a little bit more inventive. God, you guys are really going to smoke me on this one. But honestly, with this film, sad to say, but it didn't really give me what I ultimately wanted. And that is a shame. I kind of wish that the old school Ghostbusters would come with a ghost trap and lock this one up. Because honestly, other than nostalgia, what else does it really offer? Okay, look, I take it back. I take it all back, Ghostbusters. I truly do, because, man, you are so much better than this piece of shit. Oh my God. Deadlock. Oh boy, the DVD for $14.96. Man, really, they had to stock this? Shit. Another Bruce Willis special. God help us all. Oh my God. And of course, yes, I tortured myself yet again, and I watched this goddamn thing. God, I told you the last time that I was like in a battered relationship with Bruce Willis, and it really is true. I'm kind of like Tina Turner at this point, and he's Ike Turner. He's just beating the shit out of me, and here I am like, I'm sorry, Bruce. I'm sorry. I'll come back to you. Your movies are good. I swear. I'm never getting out of this, guys. I never am. Shit. I decided what the fuck I'm gonna watch it. Because I keep on giving Bruce Willis every fucking chance imaginable. And at a certain point, when am I gonna fucking learn? Truly, man. And here we go again. Because Bruce Willis is on a warpath to completely drown this entire community because of his son's dying wrongfully, he believes, at the hands of the police, and he will do anything to get revenge. That is where we are. Bruce Willis is the bad guy, and Patrick Muldoon is the good guy? You mean the guy from Starship Troopers? That guy? Jeez. Oh, he has seen better days. Holy shit. Damn, man. So, yeah, it's Patrick Muldoon versus Bruce Willis. And I know you're already excited, aren't you? Oh, yeah, you definitely are. I'm not. Go ahead, man. Okay, look, I'm not gonna lie. I walked into this film thinking it was gonna be a real piece of shit, okay? I really did. I was like, okay, this ain't gonna be a hot garbage. And honestly, it's not terrible. It's not great either, okay? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not really the worst you've ever seen of Bruce Willis. It certainly ain't the best either. I mean, Bruce Willis here is on cruise control. I'm being real here. He truly is on cruise control, man. He don't give a shit. He's getting paid, man, okay? There's moments where he kind of gives a shit. A little bit. But not that much, man. I mean, really. And he's trying to be this guy who has hostage takers, and he's got this big elite bad guys, on his side. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, it reminds me of like other movies, like Die Hard or The Negotiator, right? Where there's a badass person and dealing with these badass circumstances, and they got hostages, and they're ready to kill anybody at a moment's notice. And I'm like thinking, Bruce Willis is not as iconic or as cool-headed or charming as Hans Gruber. He's not as badass as Samuel Jackson. I'm thinking, like, what do you really got, Bruce? Maybe back in the day, but you ain't got shit now, man. Ah, damn, dude. And even the elite squad that he has of badasses, they're not really all that badass either, because they don't really turn out to be imposing or threatening. Yeah, they punch somebody in the gut a couple times, but they can't hit shit with their machine guns. I mean, literally, there's a guy on a fucking ladder that's going up a ladder, or literally on a boat, and they can't shoot worth shit. I mean, shit, stormtroopers can hit stuff better than these motherfuckers can. I mean, goddamn, dude. I mean, shit. I mean, I kind of like Patrick Muldoon here as this guy who is a former badass who's a welder now and put into this extreme situation where he's got to be the hero. I appreciate Patrick Muldoon here. He's not great, but he kind of does the job, I suppose. I mean, all things considered, it's your average mundane evil guy, takes hostages, wants to basically hurt everybody because he feels wrong type of movie. We've seen this a time or two. It ain't like it anything new, man. But it's not really terrible either. It's not the biggest dumpster fire in the world. It's just kind of okay and average at best. I mean, the acting is on cruise control here. The action is on cruise control. Bruce Willis is on cruise control, but then again, are you really that surprised? I mean, come on, man. I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate the damn thing, but I mean, it didn't exactly light the world on fire either. I don't know. Going with checked expectations. If you're looking for a dumpster fire, this ain't it. But if you're looking for something that rivals Die Hard, yeah, look elsewhere. And for all you Office fans out there, an interesting new slipcover with the DVD edition of the complete series here. I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong. It looks kind of cool. I think it's the mug that says World's Best Boss or something like that, or Dunder Mifflin something, but God, the fucking spider claws again. Fuck, man, look at this. Jesus Christ. They fucking ruined it, man. Oh, look at that. Jesus Christ, man, I fucking hate these spider claws, man. I understand why they do it, because they don't want to have theft and anything like that, and I know that Walmart deals with a lot of theft. I get it, but fuck, man, it just ruins the slipcover. It really does. And for somebody that, like me, and I know like a lot of you guys out there that love slipcovers, oh man, this really saddens the fuck out of me. Oh, look at that. That is terrible. Jesus, that just makes me tear up. Fuck, man. And it's the same thing here. They got another thing of Bond in with that exclusive, with the actual like keychain and everything. And look, oh fuck, the goddamn spider claws again. They fucked it up, man. Damn, dude. And I know some of you are gonna say, well, it's about the movie, and I get it, dude. But as a collector or somebody who loves a lot of these unique slipcovers and unique editions, to see the spider claws fuck up something like this, that really pisses me off, man. It really does. It's times like this, being a physical media lover and a collector, where that is just unacceptable as shit, man. Damn, that is fucking terrible. Oh, God. Man, that just brings a major tear to my movie-loving eye. Oh, Lord. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, they have that with the spider claws. That, hey, at least they got another edition in. If you don't care if the packaging's already ruined, the shit. They also have a new indie title, Red Stone, with Neil McDonough and Michael Cudlitz. A white knuckle thriller of a modern western. Oh, a little bit more indie western love? Okay, what is this about exactly? A dangerous hitman is tasked with hunting down a teenager who witnessed the murder of his older brother at the hand of a ruthless southern crime lord. Oh, that's great. Michael Cudlitz as a southern crime lord. I can definitely see it, man. I love Michael Cudlitz. I mean, Abraham on The Walking Dead, he was pretty cool. Well, that is until he got his brains bashed in. Ugh. Damn you, Negan. Oh, man. Damn you, indeed. Oh, Lord, that's great. The hired gun must track down the boy before either the rival henchmen or the FBI find him first. As hours tick down, the hitman begins to question his deadly ways and must choose which side he belongs to. Oh, I like that, man. It looks kind of cool, man, and I like the actors here. I mean, Michael Cudlitz, again, badass dude. Definitely dig that. Neil McDonough. You know, I do like Neil McDonough, man. I remember liking him in Ravenous. He was really good in Ravenous, man. He eventually got killed and eaten by Guy Pearce. Oh, you can't win them all, folks. Oh, you indeed can't, man. But I love Neil McDonough, man. He's great. He truly is. Of course, my Michael Cudlitz is awesome as well. God, I like that. Good actors, good pairing. I like the plot. Interesting indeed. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a huge fan of westerns. I've said it so many times. I mean, especially the newer stuff. Oh, that just doesn't feel like they're trying. But then again, that's not everything. There's sometimes a real great surprise of a western that comes out that kind of bucks the trend a little bit. This could be one. I like more of old school westerns than anything else. But every now and again, there is one that truly surprises me. Redstone kind of looks like one might be worth diving into. It just might be. We might go Cutlass and New McDonough. Hard to resist. Hard to resist indeed. One got eaten, the other one got their brains bashed in. But now they're back. Ready to fight. Good old Western fashion, baby. Oh, indeed they do. Looks kind of cool, man. Definitely does. Might be worth diving into. Just might be. Not half bad, man. Not half bad indeed. And not half bad for the media this week. Okay, to be fair, they don't have everything. I mean, they are missing a little bit of Clifford the Big Red Dog. Love anybody? They definitely are. But for the most part, they definitely pulled it off. And for the third week in a row, that is pretty damn impressive. Could they continue? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, they definitely did their due diligence on Physical Media Love. Not bad. Let's head out. Patience pays off. Oh, indeed it does, man. Here I was in all of 2021, right? Thinking to myself, oh my God, Jesus, man, this Walmart's going down the shitter, man, real fast. Well, all we had to do was change a little bit of the management, a little bit of employees here and there, and suddenly, what a turnaround. 3 weeks in a row, and we've actually got new media to show off here at the first Walmart. They're not on the biggest streak yet, but I'm counting. I'm indeed am, man. Hey, I'll take this, dude. I mean, seriously, usually every single week I come in here and I'll be like, wah, wah, oh, what the... I'm really that way, man. I've been that way a lot, and usually the expectations are they're not going to have jack squat. Prove me wrong yet again, man, and I like to be proven wrong when it comes to Physical Media Love, man. More Physical Media Love? Do you really think I'm gonna bat that away? Do you really think that I'm gonna say, oh, hell no, I don't want it? Give me a break. Oh, absolutely not, man. That is awesome. That is really great that they have more Physical Media Love to show off. That is never a bad thing. They don't have everything, but a few things and a surprise or two along the way. Not half bad. We just gotta get them to not put the spider claws on those damn things. Well, one step at a time, folks. We're slowly getting them back to actually showing off Physical Media Love. We'll get them to fix other things. Trust me, this Walmart, it takes time, okay? Patience. It will pay off. Let's hope, guys. But in the meantime, Physical Media Love this week, and never a bad thing. Not bad at all. Hope you enjoyed it. I always do. How about we head next location for more Physical Media Love? All right, everybody. We are at our second location, Target. But before I go in, I gotta talk to you guys about something. So, as we all know, streaming has taken a huge chunk out of physical media, as well as movie theaters, and Bob Iger decided to comment on it because, he was one of the people that was instrumental in slowing down the good old movie theater business. Yes, Disney Plus. So he's definitely an authority to talk about it, right? Former Disney CEO labels Mandalorian Loki as movie theater competition. Let's dive in. Former Disney CEO Bob Iger labeled The Mandalorian and Loki as movie theater competition. Speaking to the New York Times, Iger discussed how some of the Disney Plus shows should be held at the same level as movies. If you were to look at some of the films, he says, some of the TV shows that Disney has made, The Mandalorian being one, the Marvel series Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, each one of those is a movie. So movie theaters have much more competition than they ever had before. Iger went on to explain how the way audiences consume content is changing, which he's not wrong. It's not even about whether you watch a movie on the big screen or at home. It's just you have so many more choices in the home. Think about the number of TV series that we're talking about. I mean, as a quality level, that's pretty good, much better from a production value perspective than it used to be, which, again, he's not entirely wrong either. Iger also noted that this rise in streaming popularity, such as Disney Plus recently outperforming Netflix movie viewership, could severely damage theaters. I don't think it's the death. I think it's a severe injury that maybe doesn't heal. And what I mean by that is not fatal. It might be fatal to some, he said. However, they will be much more, I think, discerning about what movies they want to see out of the home, where you're likely, I think, to say or ask yourself, wait a minute, is this a movie I need to see on the big screen and do all that, or can I wait and not even wait for that matter and just see it at home? Oh, Bobby. Hate to say it, but you kind of have a point. He does, man. Look, I have been saying it for a long time. Streaming services are really changing the way that we look at entertainment. I've said it so many times, so often now, it's ad nauseum at this point. But it really is true, man. And yes, you can blame streaming services, but you can also blame COVID, because COVID came like a whirlwind and it changed everything. It changed the game. And most people were staying at home, and streaming services took advantage of that. And now that things are slowly coming back to some sort of normalcy, well, why do we really need to go back to that normalcy? I mean, we're so used to streaming the content at home anyways, that why have to do the whole thing of, going in the car and driving through the traffic and road rage and then getting to the movie theater and paying the prices and the candy and the soda and then being in the movie theater, and then you're sitting next to somebody else and they're sick or they smell, and kids are, blah, 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 and people are on their cell phones. And it's like, why can't I just stay home? And streaming has become, in some ways, a luxury to that movie theaters can't really compete with. So Bob Iger is right. He's not wrong. But yet Bob Iger is one of the people that made it this way. So he should talk, right? I mean, come on, man. It's very complicated. I don't think that movie theaters are really completely going to go the way of the dinosaur. I just don't think that. But I think we're going to see that movie theaters are going to be very picky and choosy in the future of what they put out in theaters on the big screen. I mean, if it's not a big blockbuster that they know are going to get butts in the seats, they're not going to take the gamble. They're not going to take the risk. And a lot of those films, unfortunately, are going to go to streaming or straight to physical with probably no fanfare whatsoever. And you'll be lucky if you even find the damn things. Spider-Mans are going to be safe. Star Wars stuff is going to be safe. They're going to be in a movie theater, most likely. Maybe. But a lot of the smaller stuff is just going to get drowned out. And if a movie studio is not confident that it has any legs, it will put it on its streaming service, no doubt about it. These past couple of years have changed the game in a major way. And so the real question is, what happens next? Because we're not going backwards, folks. We're just not. As much as I'd like to see us go back to the old school days, that's just not happening, and it's not possible, and just forget about it. So, is streaming going to be the 100% way we do this, or is movie theaters making a comeback? I mean, everybody said, hey, look, Spider-Man making over $1 billion proves that movie theaters are still worth it. Yes, I guess it is. In some ways, you can look at it. You can also look at it as, hey, it made a lot of money because it's Spider-Man. It's Marvel. Okay? Of course it was. It was that anticipated. Not everything is going to be that way. And so to think that movie theaters are back because of Spider-Man is not exactly the right takeaway from all of this. And so, look, Bob Iger set up Disney Plus. He was one of the people that was instrumental in it. He knew that streaming was going to be something that people are very much anticipating, and it's going to be the way of the future for entertainment. But in doing that, have you shot yourself in the foot with movie theaters? Are we going to come to a time when movie studios just buy all these movie theaters and just have at it however they want to? There's so many possibilities. And there's so many predictions and outcomes, but no one really knows the truth until it actually happens. All I'll say is this. Look, I like streaming. I have a 55-inch TV that I love, but I also know that nothing really beats the theatrical experience when you're in a movie theater with a bunch of people and you feel that moment. Like in Avengers Endgame or Spider-Man No Way Home, there's nothing like it. And so, are we sacrificing one thing for another? I mean, I love Loki, I love all that stuff, and they're great entertainment, and the production value is amazing. But in staying home, are we sacrificing something greater? Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Just think about it. Like I said, it's interesting to me because I really love the movie theater experience, but I also love being at home and being able to enjoy it at the comfort of my own leisure. Best of both worlds, maybe. Bob Iger doesn't seem to think so, but then again, he's one of the people who orchestrated the demise. So can you really believe him? I don't know. Let me know what you think about this, guys. Very interesting indeed. Quite interesting. But there is some physical media love this week. Talking about entertainment, there definitely is. Walmart showed some of it, indeed. What about a little bit more? Maybe Target can show it off? Perhaps. How about we go in? Check it out. All right, everybody. We are in at Target, and, well, yeah, it's a little empty on the bottom. On the top, it's looking pretty damn good. Let's dive in, shall we? The first thing I'm seeing is the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray Digital of Ghostbusters Afterlife for $29.99. The Blu-ray DVD Digital for $24.99. The DVD Digital for $19.99. And, oh yes, more of that movie collection goodness. Ghostbusters Afterlife, Ghostbusters 2, and the original classy Ghostbusters for $34.99. Very, very nice. All of the Ghostbusters goodness as usual, as we've been seeing. Not half bad, man. Not half bad at all. Now, I rather need to talk about nostalgia, man. I really do, because I got a bone to pick. I truly do have a bone to pick with this, man. Because it's everywhere, isn't it? I mean, it really is. It is inescapable nostalgia. And it's not like it's anything new. It's been going on for a really long time. We've seen it over and over again. But this movie broke me. It did. This is the one, man, out of all the movies that have dealt heavy with nostalgia, thrown it in your face, manipulated you, this is the one that broke me. Seriously, because I was literally in the movie theater and I was watching every other scene, or sometimes every single scene, have some sort of bit of nostalgia where they just threw it in your face. And I asked myself, how did we get here? How did we get to this point where we are oversaturated with it? What happened? Well, some people could say it started with Stranger Things, right? Because that was really nostalgia heavy, and it really brought us back to the 80s, and everybody was like, oh my God, this is amazing, and it honors the 80s in a great way. But that would kind of be unfair to Stranger Things, to sort of put it completely on them. Yes, they started a craze that is continuing, but it's not like it started with them. It's been going on for decades. There's always a fascination with the past, right? And exploiting that to your benefit, right? It's been happening for a really, really long while. So it's not like there's any one film or one TV series that changed the game and made us more nostalgia heavy than others. But then again, you could lay just a little bit of it on Stranger Things, though. You really could, man. I mean, truth be told, I've been seeing it in so many movies as of late. It's not just Ghostbusters that is the main culprit. Everybody is. Whether it's Candyman or Halloween Kills, Matrix Resurrections. Oh, yes. I'll get to Matrix Resurrections in a future video. Stay tuned, folks. It's gonna be brutal, okay? But this one was just dripping with it. It was almost like Slimer dripped all over the screen with nostalgia. It was ridiculous how much, man. And so many callbacks, revisits, fan service, just to mask the fact that they really have nothing new or interesting to do other than bring back the old stuff. Whether it's the characters like Sigourney Weaver, they barely did anything with Sigourney Weaver. Come on, guys, you got to admit that. A credit scene, and that's it. They did her dirty, man. They also did Annie Potts dirty. She had one scene where she talked about the house being a fixer-upper and everything, and she was gone. Literally, you couldn't do more with her? I mean, even the Ghostbusters themselves, they just feel off, and they're not written very well. Certain situations that you just kind of feel like it's out of character. They wouldn't do that in Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2, but suddenly they do it in this film. It just felt manipulated for manipulation's sake. That it was just fan service, but it wasn't even good fan service. It was manipulation for the sake of moving pawns on a chessboard. That's all they were, and that was it. And that really, really pissed me off. I am so glad, beyond glad, that Rick Moranis did not come back for this. I am beyond glad, man. I mean, at first I thought, why wouldn't Rick Moranis be in this? I mean, everybody else is. But I am so glad, dude. He really saved himself a lot of trouble, man. Thank the fucking Lord Rick Moranis stayed away from this, dude. I mean, but it's not just that. It's Zool. It's the Terror Dogs. It's Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. They're all back here. They're all here for the sake of nostalgia, for manipulation. Certain moments and scenes that are from the original film that are literally ripped and just changed with certain characters. That's it. I mean, Muncher here. Muncher is a new ghost which looks oddly similar to Slimer. Gee, I wonder why. Even lines of dialogue, like, who you gonna call? Oh, Jesus Christ, seriously? I mean, at least in my movie theater, people groaned, so that didn't go past them, but a hell of a lot did, man. I just felt that it was such an overload and an overcompensation, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe it. It was just crazy to think that this movie is literally just puking nostalgia into your eyeballs. And we're okay with this. And it gets me that we're okay with this, man. I mean, look, I like nostalgia. I like going back to the old days, and maybe a small revisit isn't bad, but a little goes a long way, man. To do what they did here and overstuff it like this, I think is to the detriment of the movie. It really is, man. And if you want to revisit that, you can just revisit the old film. That's what you can do. It's just unfortunate, man. I mean, look, I like nostalgia. I like certain moments where I feel like I can revisit it and it feels really special to me. But this just felt wrong. It felt like I was being played with. And it just felt like a cash grab. And that's what it did, man. And it didn't feel genuine to me. And that's really unfortunate. Because it really felt like people were coming together for something really great in Ghostbusters and wanting to do something cool to come back and, you know, have the guys come back in Ghostbusters 2, but this didn't feel that way. And that really sucks, man. It really honestly does. It would be like, for instance, if Marvel decided to bring back Robert Downey Jr. for the sake of bringing back Robert Downey Jr. because of nostalgia's sake, right? Because it gives people a reaction in a movie theater. Yes, it would be cool in the moment, but it would just be wrong, and it wouldn't be right. And yes, in that particular moment, you would really feel for that. Oh my God, Robert Downey motherfucking Jr. But when you left the theater, you'd be like, there was something off about that. That didn't feel right. This is that, man. And that really fucking kills me. That really honestly does, man. Sometimes the mesh of nostalgia and reinvigorating a franchise just doesn't work. It just doesn't, man. It's like cats and dogs living together. Mathis area. See what I did there? Talk about revisiting lines. Look, every franchise gets here, man. Every franchise does. To reinvigorate the franchise, to, inject new blood into it, inject Botox, I suppose, is to bring back the old school stuff in order to reinvigorate it for a newer audience. But this is just not the way. There's good ways to do it, and then there's a textbook example of not to do it, and this is sadly it. This dog takes the word fetch to a whole new level. Indeed he does, with Clifford, the big red dog. The Blu-ray digital for $22.99, the DVD for $17.99. Oh, look at that beautiful red dog. Oh, you're so cute. You're cute. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, he definitely is, man. So, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, okay? And I wanted to watch it because, look, it's dogs, okay? Come on, give me a break, man. Who doesn't love dogs, really? And so I wanted to give it a go and try it and see what I thought. And basically, it's about this little girl that's getting picked on in school, and she's feeling down, and one day she goes and looks at dogs, and she finds Clifford. And she's like, oh my God, it's so unique. Oh, he's so cute. Can I take him home? And the uncle's like, well, no, I can't, because your mother's going to kill me. I mean, come on. And so Clifford accidentally ends up getting into her backpack, and they decide, okay, one night, fine, you can have it for one night, we'll bring it back in the morning. And in the morning, well, Clifford's no longer a little puppy anymore, more like a real big boy, and I mean real big. And so it's the dilemma of what the hell happened. We've got to keep him out of danger, and then there's this evil corporation that wants Clifford for their own nefarious purposes. And oh, we're spinning from there, baby. We definitely are. So look, here I am watching this thing, okay? And I'm thinking to myself, it's a little too goofy. The CGI at times is kind of wonky, and I mean really noticeable. The acting is extremely over the top, and it is predictable as hell. I mean, you see shit coming a mile away, man. Okay? But despite all of that, despite all of those issues that I had and things where I'm like, okay, this thing is just not really something I really care for 100%, I still kind of liked it. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of fun. And I sat there thinking to myself, if I was a little kid, I'd love this movie. I would really dig this, and it would be a really fun adventure movie for any kid to really love and to really cherish. And I thought to myself, look, for any of you adults out there, these ones are not for you. If you think that these ones are for you, you're dead wrong. It's for the kids out there, man. And that's just the honest to God truth. It's certain animated films, TV, movies, it's not for the adults. It's for the kids, and you gotta just surrender yourself to that. And I did. I surrendered myself to the fact that I know that this is just not for me. Maybe because I'm an adult, I have a certain cold, dead heart, okay? Well, technically you don't need to be an adult just to have a cold, dead heart, but I particularly happen to have one, so, I think it's just a me thing. But anyways, I did appreciate the movie. I thought it was fun, and the kid in me definitely appreciated it. Go back to when you were a kid. You didn't care if the CGI looked great. You didn't care if the actors were true thespians or not, or if it was predictable as hell and you could see all the plot twists coming a mile away. You were a kid. You take it all in, and you're having a fun adventure with a huge, cute red dog. And that's what it is, man. Take it for what it is and enjoy it, because I actually kind of did. It's not something I'll probably ever revisit again unless I have kids, but for what it is, I appreciate it. It's not going to be for everybody, and if you're kind of one of those adult meanies that, really don't appreciate kids flicks, then I'd probably stay the hell away from this thing, man. I probably would. But if you're able to open up your heart and remember what it was like to be a kid, Clifford is fun. It is. And honestly, who can resist a cute face like that? It is a unique dog, that's for sure. Lovable, playful, and cute. And I surrender to it. I mean, seriously. If you were in my shoes, you'd do the same, man. But hey, maybe that means that I don't have a cold, dead heart. Well, the jury's still out on that one, folks. Indeed it is. But Clifford warmed my heart just a little bit. Couldn't resist that damn dog. Oh, man. And neither will you, man. Oh, Lord. A little lovable dog action and Ghostbusters revisiting. Not bad. Not a lot, but a little bit to whet the appetite. Not bad at all. Let's head out. So all Target really did was replace Bruce Willis with a big, cute red dog. I can accept this. I definitely can, man. Oh, Lord. Not a lot here. I was hoping for just a little bit more, but look, we still got physical media love, and you got to appreciate that. Look, sometimes with some stores, some weeks are more plentiful than others. We've experienced it over and over and over again. But Target still gave us a little bit of physical media love, and I definitely do dig that. I know that you do as well, man. It's not always going to be a bed of roses every single week. Sometimes we just gotta have to take what we can get, and I think we'll do that this week. Not half bad. Yeah, it could have been a little better, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse, folks. We could have got more Bruce Willis. And did you really want that? Really? You wouldn't have. Trust me. Oh, man. I'll take the cute red dog. That's for damn sure. Okay, it's a little bit, but a little bit, as physical media love goes, always goes a long way. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I tend to at times, because I'm such a good physical media boy. I'll take what I can get, baby. But how about we head out and hopefully find more physical media love along the way? All right, everybody. We are at our third location, the second Walmart. I'm going to go in and check out if there's any interesting indie flicks we're showing off. If there is, I'll bring it back to Film Fan 108 HU and show it off to each and every one of you. But before I do that, I got to talk about a trailer with you guys, and yet another one by A24. Damn, they are definitely putting a lot out in 2022. And a very interesting sci-fi bender with After Yang. Now, this is kind of interesting because basically, from what I gather in the trailer, it's basically set somewhere in the near future where androids and robots are pretty much an everyday common occurrence, perhaps, and this family ends up getting a real life looking android that basically is like a brother to their daughter, and he ends up breaking down and they need to get him fixed. And when they do, they end up messing with the programming and the idea that he now questions his existence, who he is, the fact that he has no memories, what does it mean to be human, and the dilemma and all the sci-fi goodness from there. It looks really interesting. I mean, Colin Farrell is in it. I like Colin Farrell. Don't love him, but I enjoy what he does at times. I like more of the off-quirky stuff he does more than anything else. I like that he's doing something off the beaten path here. I appreciate that. And I like the idea of an android and the idea of living as the same age as you are, and the idea that you are living in some ways just as an object for somebody else's affection, and you have none yourself. You don't really have a life. Somebody is telling you what your life is. And what does that mean? What is the meaning behind that? And I really appreciate that. And I think it's really fascinating. And it's not that this movie is original. It's not that this is the first movie to ever explore that, because there's been a lot of movies that have. I mean, whether it's Bicentennial Man, I mean, Blade Runner has done it as well, and many, many other ones. Ex Machina, you name it. Some are more horrific than others. Some are more family friendly, but they explore it in their own unique and interesting ways. And I like that they're doing another one. A24 is not always your typical brand. They always do something a little bit off the beaten path, so to speak. And I think this is yet another one of those. I appreciate where they're going with this, and I appreciate the idea of emotion and human sensibilities and being an inanimate object in some ways that looks real, feels real, but is anything but. And I really appreciate that, and what it takes to maintain that. And the idea when your programming gets messed up and you no longer have those controls that really make you think outside of the way that you're supposed to, where does that take you? Where does that lead? I mean, there's so many movies, as I said. I mean, even Short Circuit explore that to comedic benefits. I mean, everybody has had their 2 cents in it. Hell, even the Terminator franchise has, man. So it's nice to see them doing another one, a little bit more introspective, with maybe an interesting twist thrown in. It is A24, so don't count it out, folks. But I am looking forward to it, though. I really am, man. I like that idea, and I can't say that I like everything from A24, but the stuff that they're going to be putting out this year, some of the trailers that they've released, at least for me, I'm intrigued by them. I can't say the movies are going to be good, but I'm kind of looking forward to what A24 is putting out this year. A lot of very interesting, unique variety and movies that definitely pique my interest. So I am looking forward to that, man. I like the messaging behind this film. I think the acting will probably be most likely very phenomenal. The direction looks really well done here, very artistic. I think it's got a good recipe for success. Whether it is, that's another story, but I am looking forward to it. I wonder whether you guys are. Are you interested in another tale of robotic sensibilities? There's been many. How about another one? How about it indeed? Definitely let me know what you guys think about that. In the meantime, how about we go into the second Walmart? Hopefully some indie goodies worth checking out. All right, everybody, in at the second Walmart, and it's not been half bad this week. A little bit here, a little bit there, but all new physical media love, and you definitely got to appreciate that, man. So when it comes to the indie weirdness, does the train keep on rolling? You damn right it does. Oh, yes, we do. A little bit of horror weirdness, perhaps? Oh, we just might. So you know what that means. Oh, we definitely have to go back to Film Fan 108 HQ, where you said, oh, yes, you are showing off the physical media weirdness. You're going to be ready, right? Of course I'll be ready. But before we do, I actually got you something. Oh, this will be good. What exactly did you get me? Well, I made you an early Valentine's Day card. Want to hear it? Well, I mean, if you went to all the trouble to get me a card, sure, why not? Well, if you insist. Oh, and I actually designed it pretty well. Oh, I know you like the design, right? But you even like the message even better inside. Oh, I can't wait. Roses are red. Violets are blue. My physical media collection is better than yours. And you damn well know it too. Like it? Wait a minute, how the hell is that love towards me? Well, it's really not. I just wanted to get a dig in on you. Hardy har har, you son of a bitch. I mean, I was actually gonna get you something as well. Me? You were gonna get me something? What is it? A little fisticuffs action. You know what I mean? Unless you show off that physical media love, then I'll hold back. Maybe. Seriously? Big meanie. I mean, come on. Just think about this for a second, guys. I made him a beautifully articulate Valentine's Day card that makes me feel good, by the way. And all he wants to do is punch me in the face? No wonder we're enemies. Ay, ay, ay. So much for being grateful. Yeah, that ain't happening. Ay, ay, ay. One day, he's gonna wish he was nicer to me. But in the meantime, well, I guess it's a little bit of a one-sided love affair, isn't it? Oh, indeed it is, guys. But that's okay. That's okay. I got physical media to keep me company. And that's all the love I ever need. Oh, indeed it is, guys. Oh, definitely so. Oh, yes, man. And this week we got a little bit of love at Walmart and Target. Very nice indeed. Always appreciate new release love. But what about the indie weirdness, the bizarreness, the craziness, the oddities? Well, if you're looking for a little weird love this week, you're definitely getting it. Ah, yes. It's another week for the cavalcade of Walmart weirdness. Oh, indeed it is, folks. You know you love it. As do I. So let's dive in, shall we? Because this batch looks all kinds of bizarro nuttiness that I definitely gotta sink my teeth into. And speaking of sinking my teeth into, the Vamp Father? What the hell? He offers what you can't refuse. Oh, what the fuck, really? Are we really trying to ape off The Godfather with this shit? Oh, come on, man. Oh, Danny Trejo. Danny. I love you, baby, but what the fuck? Jesus Christ. Oh, what the hell is this goddamn thing? Oh, my God. The Vamp Father, Danny Trejo, foresees the end of his vampire dynasty after 6,000 years. Well, it was a good run. Ain't bad. Just saying, 6,000 years. Nothing to sneeze at, folks. He issues each of his last 5 descendants a wooden stake in which to end their own lives and preserve their honor. Okay? In a miraculous twist of fate, young Sasha survived and is now free to pursue her own true desire to become human. Okay. However, living a human life comes at a price, and when Sasha becomes the prime suspect in a series of bloody and vampiress murders, she must prove her innocence by unveiling the real killer in the greatest test of her inner humanity yet. How the hell does a vampire become a human exactly? I'm trying to figure that out. Is it like a pill? Something like that? Is it kind of like, a reverse Viagra situation? Like, what the fuck is this exactly, man? The only time I've ever seen any sort of reverse vampirism in any movie was actually in, if I'm not mistaken, it was in Near Dark, wasn't it? Yeah, because they're technically vampires or vampiresque creatures, and he's turned into a vampire, and then he's given a blood transfusion, and that sort of saves him, and he is no longer a vampire. It was kind of wonky, a little weird. I mean, it was fine for what it was. I didn't have a problem with it or anything, but that's the only time I've really seen that exactly. Maybe there's other times, but it's the one I really am thinking of more than anything else. But I mean, okay. So you turn human, and then suddenly there's all these vampire murders that are going on, and now, just when you were out, they bring you back in? You know I had to do it, guys. You know I had to say something from Godfather. I just had to do it, damn it. Oh my God, seriously. Jesus Christ, man. I don't know. It might be kind of fun. I highly doubt it, man. I really do. I mean, God love Danny Trejo. But, as much as I love Danny Trejo, he's in a lot of garbage. He really is, man. I mean, Danny Trejo might be good in them, but a lot of them are real pieces of shit. There's not many really great Danny Trejo movies out there. The ones that are great truly are great. But then you get Vamp Father. Really, he offers what you can't refuse. Jeez. Oh my god. Let me guess. He was gunned down by stakes like Marlon Brando was gunned down with bullets or some shit. I mean, seriously. I mean, how far are we taking this, man? How far are we really going with the whole Godfather thing? I don't know, man. I mean, fine, whatever. I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I like vampire movies. They're good. But there's a lot of hot trash out there when it comes to vampire flicks. There really is, man. And you might add Vampire to that. I mean, let's be real. The worst is Twilight. But honestly, I might take sparkly vampires over this bunch. I might. And even saying that should be a sin. I feel dirty just even mention it, guys. But honestly, well, yeah. Do you really blame me? Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Why did they make a fucking horror movie about it? Why? Man, everything in childhood gets ruined eventually. Even nursery rhymes. Fuck. Jesus Christ. In Jack and Jill, the bodies come tumbling after. Oh, you don't say. Oh my god, man. Jeez, I hope Jack and Jill have seen better days. God, they look like shit. And that doesn't look like water. Oh my god. What the fuck is this? Jesus. A group of friends go on a hike together to honor the passing of a dear friend. While making their way up the hill, they discover that the area holds a dark and twisted secret. Inhabiting the hills are a brother and sister named Jack and Jill, who were abandoned there as kids years ago. Oh, you don't say. Well, they definitely have seen better days. They roam the woods, searching for their next meal, with their food of choice being human flesh. Now, with the deadly duo closing in, the group must make their way down the countryside to safety before they become the next victims in this nightmarish nursery rhyme gone wrong. Ah, fuck, man. Nothing is sacred anymore, folks. I hate to admit it, but it really is the truth. Shit, now they're just starting to make fucking nursery rhymes a B-movie nightmarish reality. And probably not even a good one. Ah, shit. God damn it. Oh, man. They're probably just like, wrong turn-esque evil fucks that are just up on the hill and tearing people's flesh apart and, your standard Hills Have Eyes wrong turn duo that just happened to be Jack and Jill. Right. And look, man, I do love a good cannibalistic horror movie like any of you out there. I mean, like I said, Wrong Turn is one of them, of course. I mean, I love the old school cannibal movies. Like, Cannibal Holocaust is really great. I love that movie so much, man. I mean, I really dig a movie like Eaten Alive, which is really fucking awesome. Eaten Alive is absolutely great, man. That is some cool shit. I love that movie. That is really awesome. Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals is a really good flick as well. I definitely dig that. Jungle Holocaust, which is really cool as well. Love that movie. Also, Slave of the Cannibal God. Love those flicks so much. Those are some really good cannibalistic movies that I really enjoy, man. I also love one that came out in the late 90s, which is another one that I really dig, and that is Ravenous. Ah, yes. Oh, you are who you eat. You're damn right, man. And if you're Robert Carlyle, you're eating a hell of a lot of them. Ah, damn, I love that shit. That is so good, man. So there is some cannibal movies that I definitely love, and even more in the collection that I love to feed my need, for sure, man. But Jack and Jill? God damn, dude. I don't know, man. It just kind of seems like they just added the Jack and Jill thing just for the sake of adding it in. It just seems like your run-of-the-mill standard cannibal flick, but just with the nursery rhyme added in. Sometimes doing some of those, like, nursery rhyme tales, the kiddie folktale stuff, sometimes ends up turning into a very pleasant surprise, actually. Like, for instance, one that I really dig, and that is none other than Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. This was a really great surprise for me. I remember being in the movie theater and kind of went in with checked expectations. I was like, I'm not sure about this. Trailer looks cool, but it could be a real dud. Total surprise. Loved the hell out of this movie. Thought it was actually pretty damn fun, honestly. They've even done like a horror flick for Hansel and Gretel. So they've done a few things with nursery rhymes and, kid folktale stuff and have actually made some really good stuff with it. But do you really think they're gonna do much with Jack and Jill? I don't know, folks. I mean, seriously. I've seen better cannibal movies. I've seen better nursery rhymes turned into very interesting flicks. It's not a trend you see very often, but I guess this movie wanted to get up on the lingering trend? I suppose so. I mean, well, I've seen better cannibal movies, seen better nursery rhyme movies, and actually, this might not be the worst Jack and Jill movie of all time. Honestly, even though it's probably bad, it seriously can't be as bad as, you know, the Sandler version. Well, at least there's no washed up comedic actor that's dressing up as an extremely annoying fat chick making really bad jokes, right? Right? Oh God, I hope not, man. But even if that's the case, there's a reason why you have the axe and the machete, right? I mean, instead of Jack and Jill tumbling down and breaking their crown, they could maybe take out Adam Sandler? Man, if only I wish. And if they did that, this movie might actually deserve a place on my shelf. Unfortunately, wishes, especially that one, they just don't come true. And that's a damn shame. The doctor will see you now. Oh, indeed he will. In Dr. Carver. The surgeon will slay you now. Oh, I love that. Some of these ones I've noticed in recent haven't had the best taglines to them. This is pretty cool. Come on, that's a good one. Okay, they're pretty clever. I like that. And even they got the mask on with the blood with the smiley face. Come on, that's a good cover. Can't say the movie might be good or bad, but they're off to a good start. Come on, folks. A group of ladies seeking the perfect look soon realize that no surgery comes without a price after they unknowingly conjure a demonic plastic surgeon. Wait a minute. What the fuck? Seriously? Okay, so you're summoning a demonic entity, right? Okay, yes, a lot of stupid people have done that. Trust me, I've seen enough movies. I dare to say how many I've actually seen that has that type of premise. Way too many. But I don't think I've ever seen chicks who end up summoning a demonic plastic surgeon. Okay? I mean, shit, are they that desperate? I mean, I know plastic surgery costs a hell of a lot of money, but I mean, is this really the way? I mean, come on, man. There's got to be better ways than conjuring up demonic plastic surgeons, man. However, they are cheap, but they do cost an arm and a leg. Yeah? Get it? Oh, I had to do it, man. Oh, shit. God, evil doctors, man, in movies. There's some really good ones. I mean, come on, The Dentist. Oh, Corbin Burnson as the dentist is absolutely fucking awesome, man. I love those movies. Oh, they're so good, man. I mean, Dr. Giggles. Oh, I love Dr. Giggles. That is so cool, man. If you've never seen Dr. Giggles, please watch it. It's so fun, man. Cheesy as shit, but fun as hell, man. There's some cool demented doctors out there in cinematic horror cinema. There really is, man. But I don't think I've ever seen one that's a demonic plastic surgeon. I mean, he might actually give Dr. Kevorkian a run for his money. And that's saying a lot. Indeed he is. Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, it could be kind of stupid. I mean, these chicks really need a life if they really are that desperate. I mean, come on, man. I mean, they don't look half bad. Why the fuck do they need a plastic surgeon? Yes, maybe that's how they turn out. Well, the results speak for themselves, folks. Oh shit, and they ain't looking too hot. Oh goddamn, man, look. Oh, I mean, if you really need plastic surgery done, I'll do it for you. I mean, give me a scalpel and a knife, and I'll take care of your every need. I mean, I know what I'm doing. I've I've seen enough horror movies. I can slice somebody up. Can't say you'll look the best, but you'll get a satisfactory guarantee. If you're not happy in 30 days, you could come back. I'll try to fix you. Well, you could end up looking more like Freddy Krueger, but nobody's perfect. That being said, if it goes worse, you could star in B-movie horror schlock. You can thank me later. Enjoy a night of fright with Slumber Party a Massacre. They're dying to have a good time. Oh, I bet they are, baby. Oh, I bet they're ready for a killer time. Ah, yes. The Slumber Party Massacre remake, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we have seen many remakes in our time, and yet another one coming down the pike. Did you really think the trend was ending? If you did, sad to say you were dead wrong. Oh, you definitely were, man. So, okay, I watched this on Amazon Prime, and I did because it piqued my curiosity, right? Because I gotta know whether this is good or bad. I mean, I could almost guess, but I wanted to check it out just for the curiosity's sake of me being a horror fan and at least wanting to see what they were gonna do different, similar, you name it with this. So basically, it's about these girls that go to this town to have sort of a weekend together, and oh, the driller killer himself is on the loose, and basically they need to survive the night of terror and horrors or become a victim of the drill. Ah, indeed. Now, there is some twists and turns in here, some moments that, well, honestly, you kind of see coming. They try to do something different. They try to do something unique. Maybe do something off the beaten path a little bit, something a little bit more clever, but it turns out it really isn't all that clever. It's been done before, and they're just aping off the same similar shit, but not even doing it half as good, especially when it comes to the original, the cult classic itself. The Slumber Party Massacre. Did you seriously think I didn't have this? This is a great, great 80s slasher. Love it. Close your eyes for a second and sleep forever. Oh, just look at the cover art, man. Iconic. So good, man. Now, yes, you could argue that this movie apes off of a lot of other slasher films and it's just a copycat. Okay, fair enough. You're not exactly wrong on that, guys. But truth be told, I really do love this movie quite a bit. I think it's really fun. I think the characters have a lot of charm to them and quirkiness. I love the killer himself. I love the drill. I just love the idea of these girls who are innocent and naive getting caught up with this maniac, hunting them down and killing them one by one. Yes, it's been done so many other times before, but you could always put a new and interesting spin on it. And I think they definitely did with the Slumber Party Massacre. It's so damn good, man. So here I am thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, well, what is this going to do differently exactly? And it kind of does to a certain extent. The problem with this movie is that it really has not much to do with the original Slumber Party Massacre. I mean, yes, there is a drill in it. Yes, there is the killer that looks exactly similar to the original. Yes, there's a slumber party. Yes, there's girls in skimpy-ish kind of clothing and screaming and yelling and drills going into people. Okay, sure. But that's kind of where the comparison ends because these characters are not really all that charming. They're not really all that relatable or even likable, I would say. You just want to see them die. They're average, they're mundane, it's all sort of predictable and matter of fact. And at the end of the day, I wasn't wowed by this film at all. And it's such a damn shame because they're trying to be a little bit more twisty and turny with the plot. I mean, basically, in a nutshell, I am going to spoil it a bit here. That these girls here, this sort of fivesome of these chicks here, basically, they're getting revenge on the killer himself. Because the killer, years before, with this chick's mom, ended up attacking a bunch of girls, including the mother. She survived, and years later, obviously, the teenage girl whose mother is still traumatized by this event, she and her friends decide to take revenge on the killer himself and finally rid the world of this evil fuck once and for all. So it's almost like a play on feminism and strong female chicks and going against the guys and the man, so to speak, and taking your womanhood back, so to speak. Yeah, however you want to say it. But I just don't think it's done in the way that they think they're trying to do it. They think they're trying to be clever and they're trying to be sort of, very unique within the horror genre. Oh, they've never thought of this before, but I can guarantee you some people definitely have. And clearly, you're not even doing it all that well. I'm just being real. I'm being honest, man. I mean, it's interesting, I guess, to a certain extent because they're trying to play with gender norms and they're trying to do things of like the chicks are the badass ones and they end up meeting a bunch of guys who are renting a cabin as well, but they're sort of girly guys, so to speak. And all the things that the chicks would do, like pillow fights and all that jazz, like they're doing instead, and they're showing their butts and their bodies off like women would do in horror flicks otherwise. So they're trying to sort of switch it up a little bit, but then again, that's been done before too. So it's not like, again, they're trying to be clever because, well, again, like other movies have done it before you and did it better. So sorry, bro. I mean, seriously. Look, I gotta say this. I mean, yes, there is a lot of great gore, and the kills here is really cool and is awesome. And so, if you want to see drills piercing into people and flesh being torn apart, yes, you do get it with this film. So the kills alone are kind of worth it. But honestly, there's so many other great horror films out there that you can enjoy great kills in. I just don't think this is one of them. It's predictable, and even when they're trying to do something new and different and unique and try to maybe one up horror fans and maybe give them something they haven't seen before and maybe change the game, so to speak, they don't really do a good job of it. You're always one step ahead of them. You know what's going to happen. You know that, okay, they try to out clever and outsmart the killer, but then the killer outsmarts them, and then they're the ones being hunted, and then, oh, there's not just one killer. Oh, by the way, there's two. Ah, didn't see that coming? Well, actually, I kind of did. I've seen it before in other horror movies. Sorry, bro. Like, seriously. I don't know, man. I mean, it's got moments, but I just kind of felt like been there, done that. When you're talking about clever horror, this movie just feels like it's past its prime. Because there has been certain movies that have changed the game in horror. They truly have. They've taken the old school way that we've looked at those movies and they've twisted them on their head. And some movies have done it more successfully than others. Some have tried and failed. But the ones that last really are the ones that we appreciate the most, man. Like, for instance, I mean, all the way back in 1996. Ah, yes. Scream. I mean, at the time, it was so clever because it was incredibly meta. It took the rules of the slasher movies and really twisted it in a way that you were like, oh, this is really fun and really unique and imaginative and fun. Truly fun. And it really is hard to really put in context how great Scream really changed the game. It really is, man. It was amazing for the time it came out. Still is to this day, I would argue. Also, another one that not maybe is as equally as good, but in recent memory is one that I thought really changed the game, and that is Cabin in the Woods. I love Cabin in the Woods so much, man. This movie, I remember seeing the movie theater with Bob, and I loved every second of it. It took all of those cheesy conventions of horror, the horror villains, the ideas of the Jasons and the Freddys and the Michaels and the Pinheads and everything, and all of the stupid things that the teenagers do, and the Cabin in the Woods motif and everything like that of horror. And I thought really made it very clever, incredibly creative, man, and one hell of a fun ride. I love Cabin in the Woods so much, man. This is amazing. And we always thought that after seeing Cabin in the Woods, that anything after Cabin in the Woods that came out, anything that really was the same way that you would normally do a slasher movie or a horror flick would have to change, because this movie was so clever in doing it that you really can't go back to the normal aspects anymore. You gotta really do something even better and even more creative and clever to keep up with movies like Cabin in the Woods that really takes those things and really make something incredibly unique out of it. Yes, I still really love an old school slasher, no doubt about it. I definitely do, man. And some of the new ones definitely do the trick at times, but this movie really took a lot of piss out of the so-called rules and really turned it on its head in the best way possible, man. I really do dig Cabin in the Woods a lot. So here I am seeing Slumber Party Massacre and saying to myself, okay, they're trying to twist the norms a little bit, the conventions of horror, the rules, so to speak, and try and do their own spin on it. But honestly, as I said, been there, done that. Oh, the guys are kind of the sissy ones and showing off their bodies and squealing like girls. Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, anybody? It's been done before, right? Oh, the chicks are the ones that are taking revenge on the killer. Yeah, that's been done before too. Like, everything that they did, I was like, there's other horror movies that have been one step ahead of them. Many steps, actually. And they're just not clever at doing it. You don't ever really get to know the characters. You don't ever really get to care about anybody or their situation. Even the killer comes off as kind of mundane and weak sauce. And I'm thinking, like, the killer, they're trying to ape off of the great killer in the original, the so great original Slumber Party Massacre, man. Such a great killer with the drill and everything. And I just love the idea of the drill and these virgin girls. And of course, you know what the drill means, right? Right? You know it. It basically represents his dick. All right, his schlong, ladies and gentlemen. It pretty much does, okay? That's basically the knife is like the killer's dick, and the virgin girl, you get it? Yeah, of course you do. It was back in the 80s, man. Symbolism was all over the place. All right, but I definitely appreciate movies like this, man. They're fun, they're quirky, they've got great dialogue and great characters. Even if characters are only on screen for a brief amount of time, they're memorable. There's something about old school movies that is hard to really recreate nowadays. There really is, man. And Slumber Party Massacre is a great example of it. Yes, it's got moments that is decent, don't get me wrong, but it's not nearly as iconic. It's not nearly as memorable. It's rather mundane. The characters are just kind of meh. The plot is predictable as hell. You see everything coming, which is fine if I would have had a good time with the characters and I would have been invested in them, but I'm not. Nothing is really memorable here. And at the end of the day, you just say, like, what's the point here? I mean, the point is that Shout Factory, Scream Factory themselves, had the rights to the name Slumber Party Massacre, right? And so they decided, well, if we have it, why not make a movie? But that's all it was. So basically, all they made the movie for was basically the namesake. The movie really doesn't have much connections outside of the drill and the killer themselves. That's it. All you did is remake a movie based on the name alone. And you gotta do better than just that. You can't just do it based off of a name and expect people to really like it and want it just because of that. That doesn't work like that, man. And there's a lot of horror remakes that unfortunately have been real shit. Child's Play, Poltergeist, Day of the Dead, The Howling, Psycho, The Fog, I mean, The Stepfather. There's so many of them that have just been rather mundane, really terrible remakes that are just aping off of the name themselves and maybe trying to do some similar stuff to try to get the fans on board. And it just doesn't cut it, man. It just doesn't, dude. It really doesn't. I mean, there is a few horror remakes out there that I really love. Like, I really dig the Thing remake, obviously. I think the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake was honestly a pretty solid flick, all things considered. It wasn't really all that half bad. The Dawn of the Dead remake, that's the tits. That's a really good one, man. I mean, in those instances, those are movies that took the idea and did something very unique and clever with it that, yes, aped somewhat similar off of the original material, but did its own thing enough where it was still unique, but yet paying homage. This doesn't really do that. It's just trying to create something new, but trying to do something different at the same time, trying to be clever, but epically failing. It doesn't really work, man. It doesn't. You're trying to update it to modern day, and some horror films, you just can't do that. And that's the honest to God truth. You know, look, there was something about the 80s. I mean, truly, there's something about the old school 80s that you cannot replicate, man. And it's hard to even quantify it. It's hard to say, well, this is why you can't remake it. But it's the feeling, it's the time, it's the sensibilities. There's something about it that was so perfect for the time that it was made. And Slumber Party Massacre is one of those movies that was perfect for the moment that it was made. And to try to ape off of this type of film in a modern day setting just doesn't work anymore. And I would have much rather them do something more different and call it something else. Don't call it Slumber Party Massacre because it barely has any connection to the original Slumber Party Massacre. Do something different. Do something outside the box and call it something else, but not this. You basically put the name on it and had the drill and thought the fans were going to eat this shit up. But that's not the case because horror fans, we're very clever. We know our shit. And just because you put the old school name on it doesn't mean that the fans are going to love it. It just means that you're going to get scrutinized more. And that is never really a good thing. I like Scream Factory. I like what they do. Some of their original material I've actually liked. But this, This is another one of those horror remake bullshit that honestly should have never existed in the first place. There's many horror remakes out there that are like that, and I hate to say it, but add another one to the pile. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. It's just average and mundane. And at a certain point, we as horror fans, we really deserve more. We deserve better. And if you can't give us something better, well, at that point, you're just wasting our time. Sad, but very true, guys. Shame, shame, shame. You tried, but honestly, your drill is not nearly as good as theirs. That's for damn sure. Better luck next time, I suppose, but honestly, let's hope there's not a next time. And speaking of next time, well, I don't know if it's going to be this sort of bizarreness, but you never quite know. This horror weirdness definitely did the trick. Not bad. Movies that definitely make you not want to fall asleep, because you never know what kind of horror madness these weirdos have in store. Just when I thought I was out, Danny Trejo pulls me back in. And I'm worse off for it. Son of a bitch. You know, I appreciate the fact that they ended up making a horror movie out of Jack and Jill, but a little too late because there was already one. It stars Adam Sandler. What would be worse? A demonic plastic surgeon or eventually getting enough plastic surgery and looking like Joan Rivers? Maybe both? Joan Rivers would be worse. You know what? I can't wait to invite the guys over for a slumber party. You know, alcohol, pillow fights, movies, and little death. In fact, I'm gonna have to try to teach my girlfriend how to use a power drill. Patience will pay off. Indeed it will. Oh, let's hope she knows how to use the damn thing. As long as she doesn't kill me. Oh, well, fingers crossed I don't piss her off. Oh, man. Who will survive that one? Me. Oh, look at all the Walmart horror weirdness, baby. Oh, my God. All shapes, sizes, and oddities. You damn right it does, man. Oh, weirdness bizarro. I gotta love it, baby. You gotta indeed, man. That was definitely worth the mention, isn't it, man? Some weirdo stuff that I always love talking about, man. It doesn't matter the weird, the odd, the bizarre, the new releases, the high profile films, the lower budget madness. All physical media is always worth checking out. All of you know that as well as I do. Good, bad, Walmart ugly, always well worth it indeed. And another indie Walmart week down, and hopefully more to come. Let's hope, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, there happens to be more physical media love on the way. It's not like this is the end of the road. One more stop to go, so let's hope it's a good one. All right, everybody. We are at our fourth and final location, and when it comes to physical media love, it's either the beast or bust. Oh, indeed, I think it is. So you definitely know where we are at, and we are none other than Best Buy the Beast. Best Buy, baby. Oh, indeed we are, man. So it's not been half bad. Some decent releases across the board. So what will Best Buy have in store? Hopefully the new release love. Hopefully maybe Steelbook? Perhaps. Or maybe a surprise or two. You never know with the Beast. Up, down, all around. We've had many weeks where it's been a gamble. Let's hope Best Buy delivers this time. Let's go in and find out. All right, everybody, we are under the new releases at good old Best Buy, and already we're seeing some new release love with Ghostbusters Afterlife, the Blu-ray DVD digital for $26.99, the 4K goodness for $29.99, and that 3-movie collection Blu-ray digital for $36.99. Now, I heard that they're probably going to make a sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. I heard that they might do that The movie made enough money. They want to continue the franchise. Okay, money talks, bullshit walks. I get it. I want them to do something new. I want them to do something unique. I want them to not rely on nostalgia. That's the one thing I want for a sequel. That's the one thing I wanted for this movie, okay? And it's kind of interesting because a lot of people shit on Ghostbusters 2, right? A lot of people shit on the second Ghostbusters movie. And I don't quite understand why they do it, because I really do enjoy that movie. Yes, it's not as good as the first Ghostbusters. We can all admit that, folks, okay? But they tried something new. They had a new villain. They did some new things within the film. They tried different ideas. I appreciated that, instead of them regurgitating the same thing over and over and over again. There's something about that I really appreciate. And with something like Ghostbusters Afterlife, there's a promise of some good stuff in there. I mean, Phoebe is an interesting character. She takes over the Egon role. I get that. They can develop the idea of Evo Shandor and the idea of him wanting to bring back ghosts and the end of the world and build upon that. But do something different. Do something that's new. And I just feel like there's a lot of franchises that aren't doing it, man. I mean, even look at something like Creed. I mean, I really do like Creed, don't get me wrong. But Creed 2, even though I did dig it and enjoy it, they brought back the whole thing with Rocky and the Russian. They brought that back. And then people sort of joked, oh, you know, the third one's going to have Mr. T's kid. And, you know, it's just going to regurgitate the same thing over and over again. And yeah, that's the problem, man. And I kind of feel like we don't want anything new. I mean, we say we do, but there's so many franchises that regurgitate the same thing over and over again. Space Jam, it regurgitated the same thing, but not as good. Fast 9, it regurgitates the same stuff over and over again, but to me, it gets less better. I mean, come on. There's got to be a point where we say enough is enough. Even something with Halloween Kills that is unique and interesting and has some new stuff, but it regurgitates stuff a lot over and over. And to me, I just want something new. I want something that's going to re-engage me in a franchise in a unique way, instead of doing the same thing constantly over and over and achieving the same results, or actually lesser results. I mean, just because you do something that reminds the fans of the old school movie doesn't mean that it makes it better. It just means that you've ran out of ideas. And I want us to get back to a place where we have new ideas again. Well, don't you want to be reminded of the old school classic stuff? Not necessarily. I mean, I could watch those movies at home anytime I damn well please. I don't always need to be hit over the head with it. And that's the issue that I have, is originality. We're lacking that, guys. In a serious, big, bad way, we truly are, man. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there are going to say to me, well, Seth, there's really nothing original anymore. Everything has been done to death. What do you expect? And I tend to disagree with that just a little bit, because, yes, of course a lot of stuff has been done. But if you do it in a unique, creative, and clever way, you can get around a lot of issues. Just doing fan service for fan service sake is not enough. At least not to me anymore, man. I mean, it just isn't. And I just want to be excited about a franchise again. And it's hard to do that sometimes with these. And I just feel like we're just not really there as much as I want to. I mean, we want to prop these franchises up. We want to reinvigorate them. We want to do new franchises. But yet, we just can't find that perfect sweet spot in order to do it. And that's really unfortunate, man. And I don't know what the actual solution is. I don't know how we change the game exactly, because there's no real way of changing it. There really isn't. Because Ghostbusters Afterlife made money. They're going to continue down this road. Halloween Kills did the same thing. Space Jam, Yeah, they ain't making another Space Jam, folks. Okay? But it just feels like we're trading off the same shit over and over and over again. And when are we gonna finally learn? When are we gonna finally do it, man? I don't know. I really don't, man. I mean, that's why I think I love the 80s and the 90s and even the early 2000s. I love those movies. And I think that's why I revisit them as much as I do instead of going towards the newer stuff, because the newer stuff is just regurgitating the old shit. And it can't touch the old shit. And why even try? If you're just going to do a pale comparison, but it's all just a cash grab at the end of the day. And that's what it is. And I hate to say it. I mean, fall in love with the Ghostbusters all over again? I can. All I need to do is rewatch the movies at the comfort of my own home, and I can fall in love with them over and over and over again. I don't need this movie to do it. I'm just saying. I really don't, man. It's tough, man. It's really tough to find that sweet spot, and I just don't think this movie did it, guys. I really don't. It tried. I mean, it tried hard, but to me, it failed hard. And that's just a damn shame. As a Ghostbusters lover, I could be an apologist. I could be somebody who makes excuses for this, but I'm just not going to do it because I don't see the point of that. It just didn't give me what I really wanted, which was originality. And here's the thing about it, guys. I mean, if you go back and you really take a hard look at Ghostbusters 2, right? I mean, go back with open eyes and look at Ghostbusters 2. And they go out of their way to do a lot of new things and try to not tread on the same waters that they did with the first film, and try to do a different story with a different vibe. And I appreciate that. Was it 100% successful? Not entirely, but I give them points for trying something new and going out of their way to do it. The expectations were so high, they were never going to fulfill them, but I look back on Ghostbusters 2 and think it's way better than it had any right to be. So in the grand scheme of things, where do I really rank Ghostbusters Afterlife? Well, let's put it this way. It is better than the female Ghostbusters movie. Then again, pretty much anything is better than that piece of shit. It really is true, man. I'm sorry, Paul Feig, but that movie is hot garbage, okay? There is no sugarcoating that shit. It is just that fucking bad, man. It really honestly is. However, Ghostbusters Afterlife, it can't beat Ghostbusters. That's for damn sure. And I don't think it can beat Ghostbusters 2. I mean, this movie doesn't have an original bone in its body. It trades off of all of the other things from the previous films and really offers little new that gives me any hope for the future. So, third at best? I mean, that might not be half bad, but with all the hype and the promise that this film was supposed to give us, I just felt that it was a massive, massive letdown, man. It truly honestly was, man. It's just the truth. I mean, you get here deleted scenes, you get Ghostbusters look back, Ghostbusters gadgets, Ecto-1 back to life. Oh, Easter egg revealed, yes, of course, because honestly, if you didn't find all the nostalgia that was jizzing all over your face already, well, they end up actually giving you a special feature to actually tell you all the stuff that you missed. Yes, wonderful, just what we needed. Of course. Look, man, I just want originality. I do. And sometimes that's easier said than done. I love old school movies. But at the end of the day, you gotta give me a little bit more. And Ghostbusters Afterlife just didn't do it. Maybe the sequel? I'm not keeping my hopes up, folks. I'm not doing it. No. No way. No way in hell. I've learned better. I truly have, man. Maybe, but no. No way, man. However, hey, there is a little bit of new release love, so I can't quite complain. But what else does Best Buy have in store? And on the other side, well, more news release goodness, of course. Well, not exactly new, guys. I mean, not seeing really anything crazy new over in this section over here. I mean, they do have more Venom Let There Be Carnage, which, by the way, thank God they finally restocked, because this was Mother Hubbard's cover, man. Damn, man, I cannot believe this sold as good as it has. The movie ain't that great, guys. I'm just saying, man. And they have some copies of that. Hell, they still have a few copies left of the Requiem for a Dream steelbook. This does look like a pretty cool steelbook, actually, man. If you love the movie, this is definitely a must-buy. Great film. Depressing as fuck, but so good, man. Definitely enjoy that one. They still have zeros and ones, which ain't nobody buying worth shit. Hell, they still even have a good amount of copies of the 4K of Pirates of the Caribbean. And with all the bad word of mouth on this transfer, I can see why it ain't selling so good. Just saying, man. And they've got that. Hey, they even got one back in of Street Fighter steelbook. Oh, it's so cool. This is such a great steelbook, man. I love this steelbook so goddamn much. I mean, the movie is cheesy as shit. Ain't gonna lie, but it's just so good, man. And I love my cheese, and this is some great video game cheese, man. Love that shit. And such a great steelbook, man. I love that. That old Mortal Kombat, Free Guy. Oh, a lot of the same usual suspects as well. Nothing really new though over here. Guess we're gonna have to go hunting just a little bit more. And on the back side, it looks like there's nothing really new we're checking out. Well, to the untrained eye. To the physical media loving eye, oh, there is stuff we're checking out. Like the 4K digital of Almost Famous. Oh yes, for $18.99, the standard 4K release, because they did come out with that steelbook, and that sold out. So now they're doing a standard 4K. Oh man, the best rock and roll movie ever. Well, one of the best rock and roll movie ever. That is very true. It's so amazing. I love this movie, man. One of the best Cameron Crowe directed movies of all time. The cast is on fire. Kate Hudson is amazing here. It's like the first film that really made me fall in love with Kate Hudson. And little did I realize it was going to be one of the only ones I actually like Kate Hudson in. Oh, man. Oh, geez. Such promise and such letdown, man. But regardless of her career, the movie is really amazing, man. It truly is. I love the songs, and I love the homage to the rock and roll lifestyle back in the day, based on Cameron Crowe's own life. And that's amazing. It's phenomenal, man. And one of the best sequences in this movie, bar none, one of the best movie scenes of all time. They're on the tour bus, Elton John playing Blue Jean Baby, LA Lady, Singapore the band. I seen her dancing in the sand. I mean, oh, I could go on. I could. I won't. I'll spare you the torture. I will. Oh my God. Okay, maybe I won't. Hold me closer, time to dance. Hold my headlights on the highway. Lay me down. I had to do it, man. Oh, it's too good. Oh, too good not to, man. I love that scene, dude. I love the whole movie, man. The performances, and I just love the idea of the success of a band and the overall destruction of a band, the highs and lows of it. I just love it, man. And there are certain movies that really capture that perfectly, and Almost Famous is one that absolutely does, man. Amazing. It's not a biopic, but man, it sure feels like one. It's so absolutely amazing in every single way. This is a movie that if you love rock and roll, if you are a fan of rock and roll, this is a must watch, no doubt, man. Absolutely amazing and awesome. And then all the special features, look at this, man. It's fucking awesome, dude. I don't care whether you watch the bootleg cut or the theatrical. I tend to like both. But some people like the theatrical a little bit better. It's a little more streamlined, but both are really cool and Almost Famous. As far as rock and roll is concerned, this movie is aces. A little bit of Western Blu-ray love with Red Stone, not bad. And, that red little mischief dog, Clifford, the Blu-ray digital for $21.99. Now, look, There has been quite a few family-friendly, dog-loving movies out there, haven't there? There really has. I mean, come on. There's some really good ones. Secret Life of Pets is really good. Hotel for Dogs. Marley and Me. Oh, man. If you didn't cry at Marley and Me, there's something wrong with your soul. There really is, man. Oh, Lord, there really is. Hell, Air Bud. I mean, come on. A dog that can shoot hoops? I dig the hell out of that one, man. I would indeed, man. Okay, the sequels were shit, but that first Air Bud, man, come on. That's pretty damn good, dude. It really is, man. I mean, look, I love dogs. I do. And there's something about dogs that is just heartwarming and just brings a smile to your face. And Clifford definitely does that. As someone who was an old school fan of the PBS stuff that they did back in the day, there's a certain appreciation that I have for Clifford that I thought was really cool. But me being a grown 39-year-old man, I realize the movie isn't as much for me anymore as it is for the little kids out there. And I have to understand that and realize that unfortunately not every dog movie is created equal. Well, they can't all dogs go to heaven. Ain't nothing ever going to beat that movie. Maybe Rover Dangerfield. Oh, Rover Dangerfield. Remember that one? Oh, that's a good one, too. That really is. Look, there's certain ones that are just better than others, and there's ones that are a little bit more goofier, but they've got good intentions and a good heart to them. And Clifford definitely is one of them. Put it that way, man. Oh, maybe not for the adults out there, but the kids, definitely going to dig it. Not half bad. Not half bad indeed, man. And not half bad for the physical media love. Not crazy, crazy plentiful, but there's definitely stuff we're checking out this week. Not bad. Let's head out. Well, it always could be better, but beggars can't be choosers, folks. Indeed, they can, especially when it comes to Best Buy, okay? But honestly, it did look like they restocked some. It did look like they've done a little bit of restocking love. It definitely did. Shelves aren't really all that empty, man. So you definitely got to appreciate that. And yes, I know we did not see the Ghost Trap Best Buy exclusive. And I talked to one of the employees and they said, yeah, they did not get any of them, man. In fact, he ended up telling me that basically when it comes to a lot of those exclusives, that they don't get much for the in-store stuff. Basically, all of it they get is basically pre-orders. There's a bunch of pre-orders that happen, and they get those pre-orders and maybe one or two of what they have in an exclusive and put it on the shelf, and then it's gone. But they got none of the ghost traps. Damn shame, because it does look really freaking cool, and maybe one day I'll get to check one out, but today ain't one of those days. But for the most part, hey, I'll give them credit. We got some of the new release love, not all of it, but hey, some is better than none, and there's been times where Best Buy hasn't always been that impressive, and this week, they did their due diligence just a little bit, and I definitely appreciate it. Hope you do too. A little bit definitely goes a long way, and when it's physical media love, hey, you take what you can get, folks. You indeed do. Hope you enjoyed it. I always do. Let's head home and finish the video. Alright, everybody, that'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week, and it turned out to be not half bad. Not half bad indeed. Was very interesting. Everyone had some new stuff to show off, some more than others, but hey, I'll take what I can get. And let's be real, some places are not going to always have everything you want, but through the course of the 4 places, we saw a good variety, and I'll definitely take that, especially in 2022. And physical media isn't always guaranteed. Anything is always a good thing. Put it that way. So I am definitely happy with what we got. Hopefully you are too. Hopefully you picked up something good. If you did, definitely let me know. As far as I'm concerned, got a couple things in the mail, guys. Yes, I did. Wasn't really something I was getting in stores this week, but in the mail, some very tasty items. The first from Orbit DVD. Oh, and this one I definitely wanted for the collection. Can you believe that I've never had this movie in the collection ever? That is now rectified. And that is none other than Wayne's World Party Time! Oh, yes, the Steelbook love for Wayne's World. Oh my god. Oh, love it. Swing. Oh, the front side, the back side. Oh, look at that. So cool. And on the inside, the artwork on the inside is not half bad either. You got the disc and everything. And then inside, look at that. Nice. Yeah, very cool. I gotta admit, man, I really do love this movie. I really think it's fucking aces. And there's not every SNL movie that is really all that great. I mean, they tried so hard. If you remember back in the day, I mean, they took skits that were really great and turned them into movies that some of them, honestly, the movies didn't translate as well as the skits did. This was one of the first attempts to do it, and it was incredibly successful, and then they sort of went and just did it ad nauseum. And sometimes the results were great, sometimes they weren't, but it was really all based off of the success of Wayne's World, and I can see why, because Wayne's World is that awesome. You take a skit like what they did on SNL, and you make a really funny movie that sort of opens up the characters and opens up their love of rock and roll in sort of a great over-the-top comedic way, and I really appreciate that, man. I mean, Mike Myers is awesome here. Dana Carvey is funny as hell. Those are great comedic personalities, and when you put them together in a movie, especially directed by Penelope Spheris, who is sort of this really great punk rock anarchy type of chick, it works amazingly well. And this is one of the great comedies, especially of the 90s. So amazing. Love this movie so much. Yeah, it's kind of aged a bit, but I don't really care about that. The movie's fucking awesome. Who cares about whether it's aged or not? But it's so good, and I definitely wanted to get the Steelbook for it. Now, there is a little bit of a ding right there, if you can kind of see it. It's on sort of where you open it, but honestly, I don't really care about that. It's minor at best, and the rest of the Steelbook looks really sweet. I don't care. It's a great Steelbook. It's a great movie. I want it in the collection, and 30th anniversary, my god, man, the fact that it's been 30 years, that is wild. Damn, I am getting old. If this movie is that old, man, I'm definitely getting up there in age now. Oh, indeed I am. So damn good, and it needed to go in the collection. That is for damn sure, man. I don't think it's going to be in many stores. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I decided to just order it through Orbit, and I'm damn glad I did. Came in pretty good mint shape, all things considered. And I definitely needed some Wayne's World love in the collection. Not bad at all, man. Now, the other thing I picked up from Orbit DVD is a movie that I've wanted for a little while in the collection, and I'm actually kind of surprised that I didn't have it, but there's a reason why I finally picked it up. And that is none other than Dirty Work. It's sick, it's dirty, it's their job. Oh, yes. Now, here's the deal. This movie, there was a reason why I wanted to get it, and the couple reasons. First of all, Norm Macdonald is no longer with us. He's passed away. Rest in peace, Norm. What a great comedic actor and just a comedian in general. He was a fantastic dude. And when he passed away, that was really sad. But even more was Bob Saget. Bob Saget, when he passed away, nobody saw that coming. Nobody. Blindsided everybody. And what a talent lost, in my opinion, too soon. Love Bob Saget. Everybody did. Again, great comedic actor, great comedian, awesome dude. And if you remember, Norm Macdonald starring in this, Bob Saget directed this. And so here I am thinking to myself, I'm looking at some of the stuff about Bob Saget's life and his career, and I forgot about Dirty Work. I forgot about this movie. How the f*** could I forget about this? And I was looking at clips on YouTube, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about this movie. I totally love it. why the hell don't I have this thing, man? And so I wanted to rectify that. But it's kind of interesting because if you go on eBay, the prices fluctuate. Some of the prices are really, really high, and some of them are relatively moderate. But apparently, from what I gather, this thing isn't exactly in print anymore. And so the price sort of fluctuates here and there. But since Norm Macdonald is now gone, Bob Saget is now gone, a lot of the actors in this are actually no longer around anymore. And so with it being out of print, I'm thinking to myself, boy, now with those two big players gone, this thing is going to go for big money now. And you are starting to see it on eBay a little bit. And I sort of looked at this movie and I'm like, I don't think this is ever going to get another edition on physical. I mean, maybe it will. I mean, I got to be honest, guys. There's a lot of movies that I never thought would get re-releases that are now getting them. And so never say never, but like a movie like Dirty Work, I don't think it's a movie that could really fly anymore, especially in today's society. So I'm thinking, I don't think this thing is actually ever going to get another edition. So I definitely wanted it, and Orbit had it for like 20 something dollars, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to pull the trigger on this, and I'm damn glad that I did, man. I really did dig this film. I really love it. Great personalities in this film. Artie Lang, of course. Chris Farley, rest in peace. He was in here a little bit too. So fantastic. Jack Warden, who I love from Used Cars. He's fantastic. And so I definitely wanted this in a big bad way, man. And unfortunately, there's no special features on here. There's no commentary or featurettes or anything. I really wish we would have gotten that, man. Such a damn shame that they never got Bob Saget to do something, or Norm Macdonald. But I just don't think we're ever going to get it again, guys. I don't think we honestly will. And it's from Olive Films. I'm glad that I finally got in the collection, because honestly, this is a title that I think once people really find more work from Norm and Bob Saget, I think they're going to gravitate towards it, and I think it is going to sell a little bit more. And with the demand, I think prices are going to go high. So I had to get it before the prices went way up the ass, and there was no way I was going to get it. So glad I finally got in the collection. I love this movie. I love the humor in it, and it's just a movie that you just look at today's society and you're like, there's certain movies that will never fly anymore, and Dirty Work is one of them, man. So damn good. Rest in peace, Norm Macdonald and Bob Saget. Two great comedians, comedic legends that are now, unfortunately, up in heaven and no longer on the earth, but we can still enjoy the great material that they have given us over the years, and Dirty Work is definitely one of them. Not half bad, man. Not half bad at all. Yes, I didn't really get anything else, especially for like February pickups. I didn't get anything else, but honestly, the two comedic films I got this week, I think definitely proves that I do love some old school comedic love, and these movies definitely deserve their place in the collection. And before I let you guys go, so on this channel I try to be fair, and I want to see both sides of the argument, right? And when it comes to streaming, you guys know me. I'm a physical media guy, right? I love my physical media. And even though I do streaming, I prefer buying my movies. I prefer having them in my hand, not being controlled by any sort of subscription service or streaming platform. But I understand that I'm in the minority on that. And the majority of people love their streaming. And some people prefer it over physical media. Sad, but very true. And this article tends to put an interesting perspective on it. From Tom's Guide, I'm finally falling out of love with Blu-rays, and here's why. Okay, let's dive in, shall we? Because I'm very interested in this one. For the last decade and a half, I've been a passionate Blu-ray collector. My constantly swelling collection of plastic blue cases has been my pride and joy, and over the years, I've spent a frankly silly amount of money growing it further. Haven't we all, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, we definitely have. When the so-called digital revolution really started to take hold in the mid-2010s and physical media sales took a nosedive as streaming and digital purchases began to dominate, I stubbornly clung to my ways. Some of us still to this day. I point blank refused to buy any movie digitally for several years and instead opted to stick with physical. Not a bad idea. However, as we enter 2022, something has changed. I'm suddenly feeling a strange urge to join the masses and shrink my physical media purchases in favor of buying my favorite movies on a digital storefront. Okay. In a move that I would have thought unthinkable just a couple years ago, this week I decided to cancel my pre-order of an upcoming Blu-ray and have decided to purchase the film digitally instead. Let me explain why my Blu-ray collecting days might be coming to an end. Let's hear them out, folks. You can't put a price on convenience. Like most people, the biggest thing that has recently drawn me to digital purchasing is the convenience factor. I've recently moved to a new place, which meant I was faced with the task of lugging my entire Blu-ray collection across the country and then finding a place to actually store it. Okay, not gonna lie, that is a pain in the ass, okay? That's a headache would have been completely avoided if I instead had a digital collection. Okay, we'll give him that. Furthermore, I don't currently have a Blu-ray player hooked up to the television in my bedroom, which means if I want to watch anything from my collection, I'm restricted to the main TV in the living room. Well, that's on you, buddy. Blu-ray players are not that much money. They're pretty damn cheap, actually. Once again, that's not a problem with a digital movie, as you can access it on just about any device capable of connecting to the internet. Okay. I also recently learned the upside of buying digital. I recently purchased a digital copy of the cinematic adaptation of Dear Evan Hansen, and I was able to share the film with a family member who lives hundreds of miles away instantly. If I'd opted for the Blu-ray, that wouldn't have been possible, not without shipping the disc to them. Okay, fair enough, that's a good point. When the price is right. In the past, I've had no qualms about spending big on my Blu-ray collection. I've even spent more money to get a first-run printing that came with a cardboard slipcover over a cheaper second printing that came just in a plastic box. Haven't we all? Even so, I wouldn't call myself an irresponsible spender, and even I cannot deny the savings you get with digital media. Unlike in the video game industry, where digital games often cost more than their physical counterparts, digital movies are typically cheaper than buying a DVD/Blu-ray. Sometimes. That isn't always the case. Sometimes it actually is, but a lot of times it's actually not. But he does have a point at times. Let's take, for example, the recent release of the sci-fi epic Doom. On Amazon, the 4K Blu-ray of the film costs $29, while the regular Blu-ray costs $24, yet buying the film digitally costs $19. The price discrepancy is very standard. This single example is by no means an exception. For obvious reasons, if you want an actual physical product, you're going to have to cough up more money, but when you couple the cheaper price point with the convenience advantage discussed above, the appeal of digital starts to become harder to deny. Maybe. Friendship almost ended with physical media. Now, digital media is my best friend. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be cut and dry with this. It's not like I don't see the value in physical media. The argument that you actually own a Blu-ray compared to ostensibly permanently renting a digital purchase remains a compelling one. After all, with a digital purchase, you are wholly dependent on the platform you purchased from giving you continual access to that product in perpetuity. Let's not also forget that Blu-ray discs often come loaded with special features, and digital purchases are typically no frills in that regard. Good point. Plus, the quality when watching a film digitally can fluctuate based on your internet connection. On a Blu-ray, you're getting a rock-solid resolution every time. If only, I think, we had in the UK Movies Anywhere, the US service that made it fairly common for Blu-ray purchases to also include a digital code. As my editor tells me, this gives you the best of both worlds, although that practice is unfortunately significantly rarer over here in the UK, and most Blu-rays come with solely a disc copy. So while I'll primarily buy digital copies so my physical media collection doesn't get too large, I'm not throwing out my egregiously large Blu-ray collection. Heck, I'll even admit I'm going to be buying Dune on Blu-ray for display purposes alone. But if the tides are finally turning with Blu-ray holdouts such as myself, I wonder how much longer physical media will continue to have a place in the market. I wonder indeed. Don't you? Oh, indeed I do. Okay, so we hear his argument, right? And his argument isn't exactly a bad one, right? It's not like it's unreasonable. He makes a good point, right? That there are certain digital copies that you can have which are less money than buying the physical. You can send that digital copy if you give them the certain code or your access to your platform to somebody halfway around the world. Okay, that's another good point as well. He's not wrong on that. And he's worried about, obviously, physical media collection. The idea that it's too large, and of course, if you move, the traveling expenses and boxing it all up, and it's a nightmare. Okay, fine. He makes some good points, understandably so. I get it. And yet, I still want to buy physical. Because here's the thing, you don't own the material. As he said, even in the article, all you're doing is renting it. That's all you're doing. If you buy your movies on Amazon Prime, and by the way, Amazon Prime is going up in price soon, so that yearly subscription is going up. So if you think it's too much money, you're going to leave Amazon. And all of those digital purchases that you got, you don't take those with you. It's not like you take them forever. They're gone. You were renting them from the company. Once you end your subscription with Amazon, you're done. And it's the same way with a lot of these platforms, man. You know, you don't get to keep these certain subscriptions just because you bought it separately from your yearly subscription. It comes with it. Once you're done, that's it. You're done. You're over with. And so you're beholden to these companies, and you continue to be beholden to them. I mean, whether we're talking about Netflix with certain streaming movies and shows that you can't get on physical, Disney Plus, Hulu, you name it, you're beholden to these companies. And I understand that these movies and these TV shows, sometimes they're exclusively on these platforms, and if you want to see them, you're going to pay the money to do so. But at the same time, does that mean that you have to go with the masses? This guy is going to go that way. He's going to go with the masses. He's going to be the one that's going to end up being with them, wants the digital stuff. That's fine. But he has a point. Because think about this for a second. He even says, look, I was somebody who was a true physical media lover. I was a fan. I was somebody who was not going for digital for the longest time. And then I changed my mind slowly but surely. And he even says, look, if I was one of the holdouts for a long time and now I'm moving over, how long is physical media going to stick around for? And I argue that I think physical media is going to be around for a really long while, but it's changing and it's shifting because the masses are no longer buying physical the way that we want them to. I mean, yes, you have certain sales that people take advantage of, but it's becoming more niche. And that's what it is. It's becoming more niche, and it's becoming a product that in time only the diehards, only the collectors are really going to be sticking around. And when that happens, prices are going to go up. We're already seeing it, whether we see it through eBay or some of these other platforms where you have these boutique label companies that are putting a lot of time and effort into artwork and special features and packaging, and the prices are starting to get a little bit insane and ridiculous. And so because it's niche, because there's only a certain amount of people that are buying it, they either A, wait for sales, which sometimes doesn't happen for a year, or they end up paying the insane prices, but they can only buy a certain amount of stuff. I mean, I've seen so many videos of collectors nowadays, including myself, that say, I love physical media, but I just can't continue to buy ad nauseum the way I used to buy. I have to be more pickier and choosier. And that comes with the market being more high priced, and the fact that there's so many releases out there nowadays that you have to start to maybe say, I want this one, but I can hold out on this one. And, well, I may not be able to get that one for another year. And you have to be more pickier and choosier. And with the prices going up, the market getting more niche, this is where we're heading. And digital is slowly taking over. And a lot of people have moved over to those sensibilities. I'm not saying that they're wrong, right? Because if you still love movies, streaming is a platform in order to do that. It's not like these people are no longer movie lovers. It's not like they've lost the passion for it. They've moved that passion over to streaming. And I can't quite say I blame them. They feel that streaming is a great way to reduce their collection, still get the accessibility, and maybe lower the price point to a certain degree. Who's to say they're wrong? But then again, who's to say they're right? There will always be this argument about streaming versus physical. And there is no right or wrong answer at the end of the day. People like me love physical, but I see the benefits of streaming. I see the downfalls of streaming, but then again, I also see the downfalls of physical media. I'm able to see both points of view and try to see it from every angle and understand it. And I think for the longest time, even I was like this guy. I was like, you know what, I don't see the benefit of streaming at all. Streaming is bullshit. And eventually, even I've come around to the understanding that streaming is important and streaming gives you access to certain things that you can't get on physical. But then again, that doesn't replace physical either. I think we can live in a best of both worlds situation, but that's easier said than done. Because in a lot of ways, I think we're seeing factions now. We're seeing people that are on one side and people on the other side. And I gotta tell you that, you know, I've been in the collecting game for a really long time. Way more than I would ever care to say. And I've seen the ups and I've seen the downs. And, you know, I go into these stores and I see the physical media has shrunk big time. I see the selection has shrunk. And the good old days are gone. And so there might come a time, who knows, maybe sooner than we might think, where physical media will no longer be accessible in these major retail chains. And when that happens, that is possibly going to be the final blow to physical media. That might just be it. And when that happens, streaming might fully take over. And so if you are one of those people who have held out and not gotten into streaming because you are steadfast on physical, I get it. I understand it. And in fact, I applaud you for it. But just know that I think streaming does offer a certain amount of reliability and price point that can't be denied. And those people that have moved over to streaming, they did so out of an abundance of perhaps wanting to lessen their headaches with their collection. Perhaps they could afford it a little bit better. And everybody has their reasonings to why they do certain things. And so I think at the end of the day, physical is special. And physical is one of those great formats that I think has really preserved cinema in a very wonderful way. But at the same time, the window is closing. And the price is getting more insane. And seeing people like this guy move over to digital, yes, is sad in many ways, but is not entirely unpredictable either. I can see why people have done it. And so I don't fault this guy one bit for his choices. I understand why he's done it. He's not even getting rid of physical either, but he sees the advantages of streaming. And I think going forward, the masses want the convenience, they want the lower prices, and they feel like physical is dying to a point where if they don't jump on the streaming train now, they may just regret it later. So I get it why people want to move over. I get it why they feel the need to switch over. Look, at the end of the day, the physical media lovers out there, we are ride or die at this point. And there's no denying that. But I have to also say that the writing has slowly, even for 10 years, has been on the wall. And a lot of physical media lovers have slowly moved over to accepting streaming. And some people will never do that. But maybe it's at least time to start to say to ourselves that physical is not going to last forever. It's just not, guys. I mean, even 10 years from now, is physical going to be around? By 2032, are we seriously going to see physical still around? I'd like to think so, but at what capacity? It's tough to say where the market is going to go. It's tough to say where these companies are going to go. But maybe, depending on the platform, streaming might just be a way to save certain movies from being lost forever. It's possible. I mean, even to this day, there is things on streaming, older films that aren't even on physical yet. So, in some ways, streaming already, and certain platforms already has that idea that older films are still a necessity in the marketplace. Maybe not as much as newer content, but it is still there. So, as a physical media lover, I'm not getting rid of my collection. This is not an article where I'm like, hey, let's all embrace physical, let's get rid of our physical media. I'm not even doing that, not even close, man. But I wanted to see both sides of the coin here. And I also want to be real with you guys. I want to be real in saying that as much as I love physical media, I'm also a realist. And I understand that it's not going to be around forever. That streaming, with every single month, with every single year, continues to have a hold on the market even stronger than it did before. And physical is losing ground. And if guys like this have decided to move on, there will be others as well. I'm not saying I'm doing it anytime soon. I'm not saying you're doing it anytime soon. But there will come a time where we have to accept it. And we have to at least say that streaming, even though we're resistant to it, even though that streaming, doesn't have everything we want nor everything we love, that maybe in time we'll learn to at least accept it and hope that if physical media does die, if physical media is gone, let's hope now, but if physical media goes the way of the dinosaur, that at least streaming will be able to support the things that we love and maybe be able to still be a great place to have the old school content that we want. Nothing is perfect in this world. And there's a lot of stuff that I've loved that has went away. And I don't like change. I hate change, actually. But even I'm slowly accepting the fact that, in time there will be moments where we just have to say that if the world changes, hopefully with those changes, we can at least know that the stuff that we love isn't fully gone away. And maybe streaming will be that place. Right now, streaming is a place for newer content and exclusive content, and a lot of the older stuff, at least the really old school stuff, isn't all there, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a platform that will come in the future that has that. I'm hoping that streaming will embrace more of the past. In time, I think that will happen, but in the meantime, I'm going to hold on to my physical media and hope for the best. I don't know what you guys think about this. I mean, look, I'm not a doom and gloom guy. I've never really been entirely, but I see where the market is going. I see that streaming is taking over, and I see that physical media is slowly not as much as where it used to be. And so everything comes back around eventually. I mean, let's be real. I didn't think vinyl was going to be around again. So, I mean, you never know, honestly. But at the end of the day, you have to know that the world is changing and technology is changing with it. And hopefully, streaming catches up to where us collectors are as far as titles that are not getting the love on streaming that is on physical. But once that changes, once that happens, and I truly believe it might do that at some point, then the conversation will be a little bit different. And maybe paying a subscription fee for all of these older movies and this older content that we could only get on physical might not be a bad thing anymore. Maybe the conversation switches and changes at that point. It's tough to say where it all goes. I don't have a crystal ball. I have no goddamn clue, but I'm willing to at least see where it goes and then judge it from there. I wonder what you guys think. Definitely let me know what you think. It's fascinating. It's interesting. It's a really tough debate. No one's ever really right. No one's ever really wrong. But it's definitely worth diving into. Definitely let me know what you think about that. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely give it the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD out and abouts that I do. Check out the movie reviews with my friends, movie hunting, live streams, Blu-ray pickup videos, and much, much more. If you're a lover of movies and physical media, hit subscribe, become part of the Film Fan Nation. I really want to thank my great subscribers out there. You guys are absolutely amazing and awesome and give me the greatest support ever. I really appreciate it. Wonderful feedback, wonderful comments. You guys are absolutely awesome. You give love to me, and hopefully I give love right back to you. I really appreciate it so much. I also keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. FilmFan108, keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. And if you want to send the channel any movie-related goodness, you can do it. The P.O. Box is in the description below. It is not expected, but it is definitely appreciated. You guys have went on your way to say, hey, I would like to send you something. Where do I send it? And I created the P.O. Box specifically for you guys out there. All of you guys who have wanted to send me stuff, send the channel anything, you can do it. Definitely do it in the description below. I can't wait to see what I get from you guys next. It should be really cool, so I cannot wait for what's coming next in the P.O. Box love. But in the meantime, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and, well, that doesn't mean it's over. There's more physical media love to be had, and I will definitely be back next week to show it all off. Alright, guys. Take it easy, have a great week, and I will see you back next time for a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video. Take care, everybody, and remember, happy hunting.